Hey guys, it's Deb here with Creative Life and Jana's Hobbies and Crafts. And so we are going to begin our album. But to start out, and I'm just turning my lamp. I'm going to turn it this way just a bit. But I do need more light. There we go. Okay, so that way it's not glaring on the little mat here. So what I wanted to do is I wanted to go ahead and before we start anything, okay, let's go ahead and go through our papers one more time. And you're going to pick out the pieces that you want for your front cover to decorate and the inside of your cover to decorate, okay? So once you get your album covered with our black cardstock and such, you can go ahead and cut down the rest of your pattern paper to go ahead and get started covering the album, okay? So I'm just taking both out, okay, and I'm going to mix them. So usually what I do is I go ahead and I tear them apart and I go ahead and put all of the ones that look, you know, like I'll put the same, I'll put them together. But you can go ahead and go through and tear out whatever ones you want. So this just kind of helps me know what I have left in to do my pages, or what, you know, how I want to do my front and my inside covers. So for the front, okay, we've got some beautiful papers here, y'all. I really kind of like this. It's just absolutely gorgeous. So I'm going to tear this one out because I think I might use this one. Okay, and I'm going to set that to the side real quick because I'm going to look to see if there's something else that I like. For the front, I like this one too. That's what I like. Let's see. Oh, I like this one too. I like everything. So, let's see here. Hold on. Take those now. Yes. I like this too. Okay, so I think what I might do is I might go ahead and pick out two different ones. So I'm going to go ahead and pick this one right here, okay, and I'm going to choose this one for the back, okay. That means that for my spine, it will give me part of this here or part of this. So I think that is a good combination, these two right here. I think that's a good combination. So I'm going to go ahead and stick these to the side, okay? And then I'm going to go ahead and pick for the front, for the inside of my my book. And so for the inside of the book, I think I'm going to use this one here, okay? So I'm going to get this one for the inside of the front, and then I will do the same for the back, okay? So these two are going to be for my back. So usually what I do is I'll go ahead and I'll put these together, and I usually keep some paper clips near my desk, and I'll clip these together, and I'll be like, okay, so this is my back, right? And I'll just write it like really light on here. So this is for the back and front and back cover inside. And usually that's what I'll do, is I write on my papers. And this is so, you know, I don't get confused or I don't lose track of what I'm going to use for the inside of my book or the back of the book. So here I have my front cover and my back cover pieces that I want to use. And so again, I will go ahead and I will stick these together Okay, and usually I'll just go ahead and put those on top of the ones that I'm using for the inside, and I know that those are the ones that I want to use. So I don't usually write on them because I don't want to mess them up. So, and then I stick those way like over on like not the other side of my desk, but way over where I don't see them, because, or I'll stick them inside of a little drawer that I have next to me, so I know that I can't get to them and I won't mistake using them. So the next thing I do is, like I said, I'll go through my book, my pamphlets, and I'll just, if they're not already torn apart, then I'll go ahead and tear those apart and stick the duplicates together. Okay, so that way I know that they are together. Now the ones that don't have a duplicate, because I'm using the other one, I will stick in a separate pile, because I know that those are my single sheets and I don't have any more of those. So usually that's what I'll do. Okay, so I am going to go ahead and do that, and then I will be right back. Okay, so the next thing you're going to do is, once you get all of your papers torn apart, you are going to go ahead and grab the sheets that are with your tags, your little tall, I call them bookmark pieces, and then your little circular pieces. Or, you know, if you're using a different type of paper, you'll want to go ahead and do like all the sentiments together, or, you know, whatever you have in your paper pack. Okay, so usually if I'm using something that has sentiments and things, I'll go ahead and stick all of those together as well. So these, I go ahead and I stick these to the side, because I know I'm not going to be using anything on these yet. Okay, I usually save these because I never know if I'm going to use all of the little items or just parts of the little items, and I can always dig into this stash for a later at a later time if I need extra paper for something. Okay, so I go ahead and I stick those to the side, and now all of my duplicate items are together. So I grab everything that's duplicate. Oops, I forgot about these. So all my sentiments, okay, sticking that to the side with my circles and such. And there we go. So now everything is together. So my single pieces, I always put to the back of the packet, okay, because I know that those are the only ones I have and I don't want to use those first. Okay, so I go ahead and stick those to the back, and then I'll put the rest of my pack off to the side there. Okay, the next thing we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and cut our chipboard. Okay, you are going to go ahead and cut your chipboard at 8 by 8. You are going to need 2 pieces of 8 by 8 chipboard. Okay, the next thing you're going to need is you're going to need a 2 1/4 by 8 inch spine. Okay, and then you're going to set that to the side. And then what we're going to do is you are going to need 3 pieces of 8.5 by 11 sheets of paper. Okay, and we're not going to cut anything on these yet. Okay, and I'm going to go ahead and grab my 1/4 inch tape, and because I am using 1/4 inch tape, I'm going to go ahead and overlap them onto the middle part of this piece right here, of the second piece. So we have 3 pieces here. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and do 2 strips here, 2 strips here, and I'm going to use my glue. Okay, and the reason why I do that is because here in Texas we have a lot of humidity, and sometimes the humidity affects the paper and the gluing of your items. So I go ahead and use both. I just feel like I get a better adhesive. It adheres better together, and it stays together. So I'm going to move my little mat out of the way for a sec. Okay, and I'm going to go ahead and put my strips of tape down, and then I will be right back. Okay, so I went ahead and put 2 strips of my 1/4 inch tape on each side of the middle sheet of the 8.5 by 11 paper, okay? And now what you're going to do is, I already marked my paper, and I'm going to go ahead and zoom in so y'all can see a little bit better, okay? Whoop, that is way too much. There we go. Okay, so here what I did is I went ahead and grabbed my 8 by 8 chipboard, okay, and I sat it down, okay. The other thing is you want to get your ruler and you want to go over about 1/4 inch, okay, and I'm just going over 1/4 inch, basically to give us a little bit more room to fold over our excess paper here inside of our album, okay. So I go ahead and I measure 1/4 inch, and I go ahead and I do it this way, okay. So I'm just going to go ahead and show you how I do this. Okay, and this ruler is Jana's Hobby and Crafts ruler, okay, and it is really awesome, you guys, because not only does it have the inches and the 1/8 inches, it also gives you the 1/16 of an inch on the bottom part here, okay. So it's a really cool ruler. I love it. So okay, I'm going to go ahead and mark this right here at 1/4 inch, okay. So I marked it there. Okay, and then I went up here and I marked it at 1/4 inch, and I just drew a line down, all right? Then what I did was I turned it sideways, and I went ahead and grabbed my 8 by 8 chipboard, stuck it in the middle, and I measured, and it looked like to me about 1.5 inches, okay? So I went ahead and did here 1.5 inch, and this is about 1.5 inch. Actually, on the top part here, it's a little over 1.5 inch, but it's like, if you want to really get technical, it's about 1 and, let's see, let me see here, hold on. It is actually about 1 and 9/16 inch on this side, and this is 1.5 inch on this, on the bottom part, which isn't bad. I mean, it's only like about a hair, you know, a tad is what we say right here in the South. A tad. So to me, it wasn't that big of a difference, so I was like, I'm just going to leave it, and I wasn't going to cut it. So here we're going to go ahead and stick this middle piece behind our first piece, okay. And then what you're going to do is you're going to grab your 3rd piece of 8.5 by 11 cardstock, okay, and you're going to stick that on this side. So your seams will be on the outside of, you know, the book, which is fine, okay. And the reason why I did that was because I wanted this piece, let me go ahead and, I wanted this piece of chipboard, okay, to overlap onto here. I didn't want this piece of chipboard to be even with the seam, because then I've had it happen to me before when I've done books where when you lay it over, the seam, like, you know, kind of like breaks open a little bit if you lay your chipboard right on to that seam in between your papers, okay, when you put them together. So you want it like that, okay. And then what we're going to do, and this is going to be over here like this, okay. Then when you have this on, what you're going to do is, once you have your chipboard, your 8.5 by 8.5 inch chipboard down, then you're going to go ahead and you're going to measure, okay, and I just started doing this. Usually everybody leaves about 1/8 inch. I started leaving about 1/4 inch, okay, and the reason why I started doing that is because I like the rounded look better on my albums. It just seems like it gives it more of a rounder, and it looks really nice. It's just a nicer look to me. Now, if you're used to doing it with the 1/8 inch, you do what is comfortable for you, and that's fine. It's whatever however you're used to doing things. I just feel like it gives a nicer and a more rounded look to your spine. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and tape these on here. Okay, and I'm going to go ahead and put my tape on the back of my chipboard, and then I will be right back. Okay guys, I'm back. So I went ahead and covered the back of my chipboard with my tape. Okay, and then you can go ahead and cut the excess off if you need to, which I do. So let me go ahead and do that real quick. I must have forgot to do that. So just cut that off. Okay, so the next thing we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and take the tape off, or the not the tape, but the backing of the tape. Okay, and we're going to go ahead and set it in between our lines that we drew here. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to zoom in just a bit so you can see. All right, so there is that. And I'm going to go ahead and take this off real quick. Alrighty. Okay, so then I'm going to go ahead and place this right in between our lines here that we drew. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and butt that up close to that. Get right in that little corner there. And make sure that this just goes down just like that. Okay. And the one thing that I do want to go ahead and make sure is that this chipboard is a little bit over my seam right here. Okay. And your other seam will be right here. Okay. It's about a 1/4 inch or a 1/2 inch over. So we're going to do that. So now what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and grab our ruler. Okay. And you are going to go ahead and grab a pencil. And we're going to go ahead and line your ruler, your 0, to the edge of your first chipboard that you lay down. Okay. And you're going to go ahead and mark at a 1/4 inch. All right. So you're going to mark it at a 1/4 inch. And then you're going to go ahead and come up here, and you're going to do the same thing. Okay, so there is that. Okay, so I have a little line there, and I have a little line there. So I'm going to go ahead and bring this up and show you real quick. So there's one there. And there's one there. Okay, and then I'm going to go ahead and grab my spine, and I'm going to go ahead and take off the backing of my tape here, and I'm going to go ahead and lay that down right where I made that. Oh, the one thing I want to suggest is put your ruler down so that way, and hold it up against the chipboard, the bottom of that chipboard, so you are straight. Okay, and then you'll be able to see your little 1/4 inch line that you drew, and you can definitely lay down your spine. Just like that. So it will be straight. Okay. So I just find that the ruler helps a lot when laying down your chipboard. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and take the backing off of this. This is our last piece here, okay? And I did a boo-boo, so I had to go ahead and put some extra tape on there. So, then we're going to go ahead and draw our lines again. So up here, you're going to take your ruler and you're going to draw your 1/4 inch. Just going to grab my pencil. Alrighty, I'm going to go ahead and grab my ruler, line it up again, and make sure that it's pressed to the bottom of my chipboard pieces. Okay, grab my chipboard, place it on top of, place it on top of the little 1/4 inch areas where I drew my line. There we go. So there, now it is laid down. Yay! So there we go. So that is how you're going to go ahead and lay down your chipboard pieces. And I'm just looking for my little scraper, but I don't know what happened to it. So I'm just going to go ahead and use my bone folder. There it is. So I'm just going to go ahead and grab my scraper and press down into my paper. Make sure that this is all burnished in really, really good. Okay, you can also flip it over and burnish. Alright, make sure that everything's burnished in really good. Okay. Alrighty, so there we go. So then the next thing we're going to do is we are going to go ahead and grab your bone folder, and you are going to go ahead and go straight across. Okay, you just want to press a little bit so you can make an indentation, kind of like a score line. Okay, so you want to go ahead and do that with your bone folder. Okay, and turn it over this way, and again, on the bottom part, you want to do the same thing. Just go all the way around your book to kind of make a score line. Okay, just like that. Alrighty. And then you can do it in between too if you wanted to do that. Alrighty. Okay, so the next thing you're going to do is I'm going to go ahead and zoom, or actually I don't have to. I want you to kind of bring your paper in and just kind of start folding it over. Okay, just like this. Alrighty. Now you're going to have a large piece here, okay? And usually what I do is I go ahead and grab my ruler, and again I place the 0 at the edge of the last or the end of the chipboard piece, okay? And I'm going to go ahead and go over 1 1/4 inch. Alright, make a line. And I'm going to make a pretty long line here. okay, and then this piece here will be cut off, okay. So I'm going to go ahead and cut that off, and I'll be right back. Okay, so I cut off that line, or that other part of the edge here of the paper, and again, I'm just going to go ahead and fold this up, okay. And what you can do to help your paper is to get your little scraper or your bone folder, and you just want to gently go across. Now I lay mine flat against my book here, and I just go gently across it, okay, so the paper won't rip or anything, okay. And again, I'm just folding this here just like that, okay, just kind of getting it prepared. Again, I'm going to go ahead and fold it a little bit, and then go gently across with my bone folder, okay. Same thing on this side. Gently across the back here. All right. And then on top. So gently. Okay, now it may be a little bit tougher when you hit that piece where the seams go over each other, okay. That's okay. So just grab your bone folder and kind of gently rub that so it folds in, okay. Okay, just like that. Alrighty. So now what we've got is we have all of our area done, okay, and we've got our folded, what do I want to say? We have our paper folded, getting ready to fold inside of our book. Here, what I want to do is I want to go ahead and grab my scissors, okay, and if you are used to cutting it, you know, straight across, however you do it, that's fine. If you are not, and you have problems with that, like I do, then I just go ahead and where our square is, I just kind of taper in just a bit, okay? And I just taper in and go towards that square area, okay? Just like that. Okay, just like that. So again, we have our little square area here, and I just taper in a bit and go a little, and then go towards that little square. Okay, you can leave a little bit on there, so so that way you wanna, if you have like a little piece, just press that in. So when you fold it in, it will go ahead and fold in nicely like this, okay? See how this is going to fold in like that, okay? Just like that. All right? So that's how that's going to fold in. So again, where our little square is, you're just going to taper that in just a bit where that square is. Where that X is, I guess, is. Okay, just like that. And I'm going to taper that in just a little bit more. There we go. And same thing here. Just going to go ahead and taper that in. Just like that. Alrighty, so there we go. So now what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and add our tape in. So again, I'm going to grab my 1/4" tape, and I am going to go around the whole book, okay, just like this. And then we're going to use our glue, okay? And if you are just using tape or adhesive and not glue, just get your tape and go around the book like I'm doing. And then you will also go around the top part of your edges of your paper. Okay, so there we go. Now you could put you can line this with 2 pieces if you want. If you feel safer that way, you can definitely do that. So, you know, if you wanted to, you could put 2 pieces here. If you're using a 1/4 inch tape, or, you know, you could put 2 pieces down. So that way you have a little bit more adhesive to strengthen your bond, you know. So there we go. Again, I'm just going to lay one more piece down here. Alrighty. And then I'm going to bring this back up. Okay, now I'm usually, or sometimes I'll go ahead and I'll put tape across the top. You can go ahead and do that now if you have tape. But because I only have a little bit of the 1/4 inch tape, I don't want to use all of that. So I'm just going to use my glue, okay? And I've used glue before on my books where, you know, to adhere when we're making the album. So I'm not worried about it coming apart later. Actually, I think I've used glue on the whole album before when I've made it. So I'm going to go ahead and take these apart. Okay, I'm just going to go ahead and take all of the backing of the tape off of here. Okay, and I am going to go ahead and use my glue. So what I do here is I go ahead and use my glue for the inside of the seam right here, okay? And the reason why I do that is because I feel like it softens that up a little bit to make it fold over easier, I should say. So I'm going to go ahead and do that there, okay? And then again, I'm just going to go ahead and put some glue here, and then put glue up and through here. The one thing that I do make sure is that I'm getting those end pieces so they lay down really well. Okay, then I'm just going to go ahead and grab that piece and bring it over. Okay. Just like that. And I'm going to grab my little spatula, and I'm just going to go ahead and go. Now if you get glue seepage, that's okay. Just wipe that off, or, you know, just, you know, kind of bring it over to the other side of that. If you were like I did over there, it's okay. Alrighty. Okay, so then the next thing you're going to do is you are going to go ahead and go here and do the same thing. Okay, and I got a little bit too much glue there. Going to actually wipe that up there. Okay, and again, I'm just going to bring this over. Okay, just like that. And I'm going to grab my little you can grab your bone folder or whatever you use to, you know, bring this over and help you adhere it down. Okay. If you get glue up and through here, don't worry about it. It's going to dry clear. This one that I use, the art glitter glue adhesive, it dries clear, so we don't have to worry about any glue showing. Okay, so there we go. So now you're going to do the same thing here. And again, just make sure you have your corners. And again, we're just going to go ahead and grab your bone folder or whatever and just bring that over, just like that. Okay. Now I can grab my little wipey and I can definitely go ahead and pick up that remaining glue on there. Okay. And same thing over here. Alrighty, so there we go. So now what you're going to do is we're going to go ahead and you're going to grab your bone folder and you're just going to go ahead and go in here. And this should lift up pretty easy, okay? You shouldn't have any problems lifting this up, okay? So there we go, just like that. And there is our book. And see how nice and rounded your spine is, okay? There's no cracking or anything like that. And that's why I really like using the larger, you know, what do I want to say, the seams in through here. I just feel like they just give your book a little bit better, it's just a better look, I think. But, you know, that's just me. So there we go. So now we are on to covering the outside and the inside of our book. So I will be right back. Okay guys, I'm back. So for our pages, we're going to go ahead and you're going to cut 4 pieces that are 8.5 by 7 3/4, okay? And so since we're using 8.5 by 11 sheets, you won't need to cut one side, you'll just cut the other side, the 11-inch side, right? So you'll lay that right across your board where your 8.5 comes to here, okay? And your 7 3/4 is down this way. So you'll go ahead and grab your bone folder and you're just going to go ahead and score a 1/2 inch all the way down, okay? Just like that. Alrighty, and then you're going to go ahead and just fold that back. Go ahead and burnish that down. Alright, and there's your page. So, actually this is going to go, I just thought about that. So, this is the L-shaped page. So it's just going to go down like this, okay? So, next what we're going to do is we are going to, and again, you're going to need 4 of these, okay? And I have 5, but I think you'll need 4, okay? So we're going to set those off to the side now that our pages are made. And next we're going to go ahead and cover the inside. And so for that, I went ahead and grabbed my pieces that I picked out from my back, my front and my back. And I'm just going to go ahead and cut these out. Now, depending on how you want yours cut, okay, if you're a beginner, Okay, you're going to go ahead and decide, you know, how much of a border you want on the bottom here. Now, I usually just do 1/4 of an inch, so I will go ahead and cut 7, and I'm just going to go ahead and I think I'll cut it at 7 3/4. Okay, and again, I'll go ahead and leave 1/4 of an inch here, and I'll cut this at, again, I'm going to go ahead and cut it at 7 3/4. Okay, we're going to use something here to put in the middle of this. Okay, and I think I might just go ahead and just use the back of this sheet. Okay, since it's on here anyway, I'm not going to be using this whole sheet, and we will have scraps, so I'll probably just go ahead and use the back of this. Okay, you can go ahead and just cover the whole thing straight across if you wanted to do that, and so you can definitely do that if you want to. Okay, but I like to break my patterns up a little bit, so okay, so I'm going to go ahead and cut these down. Again, you're going to go ahead and cut it at 7. You're going to go ahead and cut them at 7 3/4, okay, by 7 3/4. Okay, is what you're going to cut these at. Okay guys, I'm back. So I went ahead and cut my papers, and your spine is actually going to be cut from one of the pieces off of the 12 by 12 sheet, the front piece of that, okay? And that is going to measure at 3 3/4 by 7 3/4. So sorry about that. So yeah, so 3 3/4 by 7 3/4. Okay, so all right, so I went ahead and inked my papers with the Momento Rhubarb ink, and that's what I'm going to be using. And you can find all of the colors for Momento. You can find them over at J&S Hobbies and Crafts. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and line my paper just around here. I'm going to line it with my 1/4 inch tape. Okay, and then what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and then I'm going to go ahead and use the glue on the inside of the piece. Okay, so that way I know I get good coverage, and yeah, so, alrighty, so and then we're just going to go ahead and burnish that down, and I'm going to go ahead and cut that off. Alright, and I'm going to go ahead and take the backing off of this one first. Alrighty. And then I'm going to go ahead and put glue around here, just like this. I'm trying to just drag that glue out. I'm not really adding any more glue, just trying to drag that glue out a little bit. So, okay, and then I'm just going to put this right in between on the spine, okay, and I'm just gonna bring it down a bit so I know we're kind of even there. Okay, and I'm just gonna go ahead and burnish that in. Okay, and if you get some seepage out of the sides, just go ahead and grab your wipey and wipe that up. Okay, and so just like that. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to go in between our little seam here and make sure that that is nice and good. Okay, so I want to make sure that that is burnished down really well. Okay. And same thing with this here. So I'm just going to grab that, go inside there, and just gently go back and forth. Kind of start lifting up a little bit and bringing it up. Okay. And I'm going to go ahead and do that. Okay. All right, so there is that part. Okay. And then you can go ahead and you can glue in your other pieces just like this. Okay. So again, I went around my edges with the Rhubarb Stalk ink. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and put these inside, and again, I'm going to go around just the border of the back side, okay, of the covers, and then on the inside and a little bit around on the adhesive, I'll put glue and then stick that down, and then I'll be right back. Hey guys, I'm back. So now that we have the inside all covered, okay, now we are going to do the outside. And basically, you're going to go ahead and use your doily, the natural doily crocheted, okay, ribbon. And that is going to be our holder, okay, or our closure, I should say, not holder. So you're going to go ahead and just, since I want about this much hanging off the edge, which is, let's see here, where's my ruler? I am going to, let's see, that is going to be about 6.5 inches out. Okay, so that's about what you want out, sticking outside of here, okay, from your book. So I'm going to go ahead and just fold that, okay, and let's see here, what do I want to do here? Let's see, so it's about 6.5 inches, I think that's what I said. Yeah, 6.5 inches. And so let's go ahead and cut it at, I like to have enough, you know, even though I'm not wrapping it all the way around, but I like to have enough on my book so it doesn't pull off easily. So let's go ahead and let's just go ahead and cut it at 12 inches. So I'm going to fold this in half, and it should be at 12. Okay, so I'm going to fold this in half like this, and I'm just going to go ahead and cut it right there. So that should be approximately a little bit longer than 12, and that's fine. Okay, I'm good with that. So let's go ahead and grab the other part of that, and we're just going to put these two together, and we're going to go ahead and cut that right there, just like that. So one's going to go on the front and one is going to go on the back. So you are going to go ahead and grab your adhesive, okay? And I do have some 1/2 inch tape, adhesive tape in my stash. So I'm going to go ahead and use that. Okay, you can also use your, you know what, I'll just use the 1/4 inch tape. That's all I'll do. I'll just use that. That's fine. Okay, because we really don't, we're going to put glue on it anyway. So I'm going to put the middle part right here. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and put the tape in the middle of this crocheted. Okay, and I'm just going to do it, and I'm going to put this on my ruler, and I'm just going to do it until I hit 6 inches. Okay, just like that. That should leave me about 6.5 inches, or a little bit longer. Okay, so that should be fine right there. Okay, and that's fine. If we need to cut some of this off, I'd rather be safe than sorry, right guys? So we're just going to do 6 inches on this part right here. Okay, so rather be safe than sorry, because you never know, you know, you just never know. So I'm going to go ahead and put this up here, and I'm just going to go ahead and bring it to the 6. Take the tape off, and then we can add our glue to it. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and we are just going to make a little line, okay, right on our, let me get in the camera here, sorry guys. We're going to make a little line right here on top of the tape, okay, and I need to do this on the back because I wanted this part facing down. So I'm going to go ahead and flip this over just like that. Okay, and I'm bringing it almost to the edge of the book here. Okay, I think I'm leaving about maybe an inch. Yeah, about an inch from the spine. Okay, so what I can do now is I can go ahead and grab my glue, and I can put more glue here. Okay, and I can also go ahead and lift this up and put more glue here. Okay, and also here, right underneath. All right, now you don't have to use this long of a closure or cut your lace this long. You don't have to if you don't want to, but I do because you never know. You know, I've had it where I've done like halfway or maybe less than halfway, and sometimes they kind of come out, so I like to make sure it's way in the back here, so I know it's going to go ahead and be on there tight. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and just burnish that in, and I need some glue back here, so I'm just going to put that there. Alrighty, then I'm going to go ahead and turn this over, grab my other piece, and I think I messed up a little bit because I needed it on this side, so I'm going to take this tape off. And it's easy to take off of here, so if you need to, you can definitely just take this off. So I'm going to go ahead and grab the adhesive. There we go. Grabbed it. Okay. So I'm just going to pull that off and then put another piece of tape on there, 6 inches. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and put this here. All right. And I'm going to fold it over this way so I don't get confused. Because we know that's easy for me to do. So, so I'm going to go ahead and put that there, just like that. Tear that off, okay. And now I'm going to burnish it in. Okie dokie. We're going to take this part off, right? And then we are going to put the glue on top of here, just like that. Okay, so just like that, and I'm going to go ahead and make sure that I'm kind of even with this guy here. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and bring this over, and I want to make sure that I'm even, so if I have to, I can bring him up just a bit. Okay. And you just want to go ahead and check and make sure that you're even. So, and I'm pretty even with that. So I'm good. So, okay. So now I'm going to go ahead and just put some glue here. Put some glue on the top part of this. Put some glue on the bottom part of this. Okay. And I'm going to go ahead and put that there. Alright, and just burnish that in really, really good. And I can go ahead, I mean, I don't have to cut these stragglies off, but, you know, they're going to get covered anyway. But anyway, I have to cover them off because it just bugs me. So, we're going to go ahead and do that. Okay, so there is our closure. So, you can go ahead and tie that just like that. So, that is one way you can make a closure. All right, and then I'm gonna put some more glue there. All righty, and get that down. Okay, all right, so now what we can do is, if you wanted to, and you know what papers you want to cover, you can definitely go ahead and cut those. And again, you know, it's up to you how much you want to leave in between here. You know, it's totally up to you. So anyway, so okay, so I will be right back. I'm going to go ahead and cut my papers, and I'll be right back. Hi guys, I'm back. So I went and covered the outside of my book, and so I think, yeah, it looks pretty good. The only thing here is that I kind of messed up a little bit. It's not as straight right here for some reason. I don't know. So to fix that, I thought to use some of our pretty knitted or crocheted lace, we could definitely use that just like that, right? So I'm going to go ahead and put some adhesive on here. Okay, so I'm just going to go ahead and I cut them 8 inches long. So I'm just going to go ahead and I'm going to put the adhesive like right below where the little scallops are, right underneath there. And then I'll put glue in between here, right in through here, because the glue will dry clear and it won't, no one will be able to see that. So, and I don't want them to see the tape, so I thought that might be a good idea. So let's go ahead and take that off. I'm going to go ahead and put glue. Actually, you know what? I'm going to go ahead and put glue on this side here. I'm just going to put a string of glue there. And I'm going to grab this. So I want it to come to the end here. Okay. And so I'm just going to go ahead and put that right at the edge of the paper, so to speak, because I don't want it on the paper. It's going to be like right, like butted up against the paper. Okay, so just like that. And I just need to stretch this out. Might be a little short. There we go. So just like that, and then I'm going to wrap that around there. So that is just going to be wrapped around just like that. Okay. And I'm going to go ahead and cut these little pieces off here. Just like that. Alrighty, and then I'm going to go ahead and do the same thing on this side here. So I'll put glue here. Alright, and then I'm going to go ahead and move my ink here. Put the tape here, right below the scalloped. Okay, and then go ahead and cut that off of there. And this is a great idea to do. I mean, you know, just to add a little bit of, you know, embellishment to your spine. So I think it looks really nice. I think I did this on my other, I did it on one of my other albums as well. And I really liked it. I really thought it turned out nice. And then I'm just going to wrap that right around, just like that. And there we go. So there is our spine. And I love how that little scallop is right there on the edge. It looks so pretty, you guys. Oh, that looks really nice. I love it. I love it. So that is a way you can fix if you are crooked or something on your spine. Get just an easy fix and put something there like that. Okay, now for our inside of our book, okay, we are going to go ahead and do our pages. So the pages are actually going to be an L-shaped page. Okay, you're going to need 4 of these. So you're going to cut 4 pieces, again, that are 8.5 by 7 3/4, and you're going to score a 1/2 inch on the left hand side. Okay, when we go ahead and put these in our book, all right, they will be inserted like this. So there's not necessarily, or like when we usually do our albums, we do a hinge. This is actually your hinge. Okay, this little flap here. Okay, so when you score your 1/2 inch, that is actually going to be your hinge. So you'll need 4 of those, okay? And then we need to make the flaps, okay? So for the flaps, I thought we would just do something super easy. And so let's see here. So I'm going to go ahead and show you what you're going to need for page 1, page 2, page 3, and page 4. And if you want to, after you cut your pages, you can definitely go ahead and write page 1 on them, and then write page 2, and so on. That way you know you can keep your pages in order, okay? So I'm going to go ahead and get my desk cleaned up, and then I will be right back.